The ceremony will begin with the baby being brought in by Marcy and Josh, who will then hand the baby off to John, the dad, who's going to be sitting in Kisei Eliyahu, in Elijah's chair. And I'm going to explain everything today as we go through this ceremony. So first, let's welcome the baby. May he who comes in the name of God be blessed. Blessed be those who've gathered here for this sacred moment. Give thanks to God who's good. God's loving kindness is everlasting. So it is. In fact, the rabbis have 1,000 interpretations. Everybody interpreted why it was so important. But the one that constantly comes through is that we are making a tiny physical and safe change on this little guy to change him from a physical man to a spiritual man. And if you look at that constant theme of transition to spirituality, to a spiritual being, it is why we have been commanded as Jewish people to have a circumcision, to have a bris, as a covenant between God and the Jewish people. And it is an important thing to realize that particular point, that is the primary reason. And in a way, today is a beginning of his change to spirituality, but it will also a reminder to all of us of the importance of tikkun olam, which is to change the world. And that is one of the key philosophies of our traditions, to change the world, and in a way we are changing him at the beginning in a slight and subtle way. Now, but I have to ask him permission. I'm going to ask both of them permission. Do you appoint me as your shaliach, your agent in fulfilling the mitzvah of circumcising your son?
We appoint you today as our shaliach for the Brit Milah of our son.
So Itai, John's brother, is acting as the sandik, which is a great honor to caress the baby while this is done. So we're going to use a little wine. It's perfect. Sarah? It's okay. Get closer back. Nice job. Circumcision's done. John is going to say it first in Hebrew, and then Sarah's going to say it in English.
Blessed
are you, Lord our God, source of all being, who has sanctified us with your mitzvot and commanded us to enter him into the covenant of Abraham our father.
And let us all, Uncle Joe is going to be called up now to make a blessing over the wine. And it's a longer blessing because it is actually a very important. I will translate the second part. Amen. But boys are named at a bris, and girls are typically named in synagogue. So since we have a little guy, and since none of us know the name of the boy, except for these two who have kept the best secret keepers in the world, I'm going to start it in Hebrew, and then I'm going to translate it, and then I'm going to ask John that he names, and he's going to whisper in my ear, and then I will announce it. Eloheinu v'levoteinu v'imotenu kayem et hayelad hazeh la'avinu limo v'yikarei shemo b'Yisrael. Ram Yisrael Ben Yonatan Yaakov Sarah Michal, and in English, Sidney Reuben. Amen. May his father rejoice in his child. May his mother rejoice in the fruit of her womb. This little one may become big. And so, as he has entered into the covenant, so too may he enter into a life of Torah. Blessings of the sacred relationship and the practices of good deeds. Amen. Amen. Now we're going to continue on. We got it. John and Sarah are going to give a short explanation how they came to choose these beautiful names.
The Ashkenazi Jewish tradition is to name a child after one or more of his deceased relatives using either the exact name or first letter. Sidney's English name comes from my mother's parents. We hope our Sidney embodies the same kindness and sweetness my grandfather was known for. I look forward to telling our Sidney something my grandfather always told me. I love you up to the sky, around the world, 1,000,000 times.
Sidney's Hebrew name translates to Thunder of Israel. We chose these names to give him the strength and power of thunder and to connect him more directly to his Israeli heritage. The name Yisrael is also representative of his two Israeli great-grandfathers.
So, as we head to almost the finale, it is often customary for fathers to bless their children on Sabbath.
That's pretty much it. You could have just said, I'm going to cry.
Yivarach Adonai v'yishmerecha. May God bless you and keep you. Yair Adonai panav elecha v'yichonecha. May the light of God always shine upon you and be gracious to you. Yisah Adonai panav elecha v'yasem b'cha shalom. May God lift up God's face to you, to this beautiful family, to everyone here for coming out, and let us all say, Amen. This is Uncle Jeff Sherman, Karen's husband, uncle to John and Sarah, and he is going to say the final blessing. By the way, before you, Jeffrey. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen. Mazel tov, Jeffrey.